All right, today we're jumping right into the DISC model of human behavior, and we're zeroing in on one of the most dynamic and, honestly, most recognizable personality types, the I for influencer. We're going to be leaning on the work of behavioral expert Steve Sisler to look past that charming, fun-loving exterior and really get to the bottom of what makes this fascinating temperament tick.
I mean, you know who we're talking about, right? We all know these people. They walk into a room, and it's like the energy level just dials up to 11. They're magnetic, they're talkative, and they just seem to bring the fun with them wherever they go. This is the classic image of the influencer, the I style. It's kind of their calling card.
But here's a thought. What if all that boundless enthusiasm isn't just a personality trait? What if it's actually something of a defense mechanism? Today, we're going to explore this idea that just beneath the surface of the influencer, there's this really complex emotional world that's driven by a powerful set of unconscious fears. So, let's pull back the curtain and see what's really going on.
Okay, so first, a little bit of context is helpful. In the DISC model, you've got these active styles, the D and the I. Think of them as outwardly focused. They're the ones pursuing goals, chasing accomplishments. Life is kind of like a giant stage for them. Then you have the more passive styles, S and C, who are more reserved. Understanding this active, outward energy is absolutely key to getting why the I-type behaves the way they do.
So, with that in mind, let's officially meet the influencer. If you had to boil them down to their essence, they are the people-focused feelers of the world. While other types might be locked in on tasks or logic, the I-type's entire operating system is built around people and emotions.
Now, what's really interesting here is how all of these traits are connected. You see, because they're so people-focused and run on emotion, they are naturally spontaneous and fun-loving. But that exact same emotional engine means they can also be super impulsive and unpredictable, making decisions based on how they feel in that very moment, not on some well-thought-out plan.
So, how does this all play out in the real world? Well, one of the most fascinating things about the I-type, according to Sisler, is that they are by far the easiest temperament to recognize. You don't need some long, drawn-out personality test. A lot of the time, you just need a few minutes of paying attention. So, how do you spot one? Just watch them. Their emotions are written all over them. Their facial expressions are super animated, their eyes are incredibly expressive, and boy do they talk with their hands. Sisler points out that they use their words, their gestures, and their overall spirit in perfect harmony. There's no filter, no disconnect. What you see is exactly what they are feeling. And this phrase just perfectly captures it. They live a naked, open fishbowl life. Unlike other types who might be really good at putting on a poker face, influencers just can't. If they're happy, you know it. If they're frustrated, you know that too. That emotional filter just doesn't exist. Okay, so that's the what. We know what they act like. Now let's dig into the why. What is going on inside their brain that creates this open, emotional, and spontaneous person? Well, the answer seems to lie in their actual brain wiring.
Meet the limbic system. This is a really primal part of our brain, and it's responsible for our emotional life, for memory formation. It's our feeling center. And for the I personality type, this isn't just a part of their brain. You could say it's mission control. It's the starting point for almost everything they do.
Think of it like this. We all kind of have a feeling brain, that's the limbic system, and a thinking brain, the neocortex. Now, the neocortex is where we handle logic, reason, thinking about consequences. But for the INTJ type, reactions and decisions often start and end in that feeling brain, completely bypassing that logical, rational filter. And that is why they can be so impulsive.
This deep reliance on the feeling brain leads to a phenomenon Sisler calls limbic looping. It's way more than just talking to someone. Think of it like an emotional transfusion. It's this feeling of plugging directly into another person's energy, creating this shared experience they can almost physically feel. This is what fuels their intense need for social interaction, and yeah, sometimes even drama.
And all of this emotional wiring, this need to connect, it brings us to the absolute core concept of this whole explainer, what Steve Sisler has termed the I triangle. He describes it as a kind of unconscious emotional prison that quietly dictates the I-type's every move. So, what is this prison built out of? It's built from fear. 3 very specific, very powerful, and often totally unconscious fears that are just always there, lingering right beneath the surface.
And here they are, the 3 corners of the I triangle. First, you have the fear of failure, or maybe more accurately, the fear of being seen as a failure. Second, the fear of not being liked.
This is a huge one, that need for social approval. And third, the fear of being misunderstood, of having their motives or intentions twisted. And as Sisler put it so well, these three fears working together are powerful enough to basically short-circuit our rational mind. When you're trapped inside the eye triangle, logic just goes right out the window. All your decisions get filtered through these anxieties, and you're left to rely only on your gut feelings.
Let's see how this actually works. So imagine an I-type manager has to talk to an employee, Sally, about being late. The eye triangle just ignites. The fear of being disliked makes them think, oh no, Sally's going to be mad at me. The fear of being misunderstood makes them worry, she'll think I'm cruel because she has a sick kid. But then the fear of failure screams, if I do nothing, my boss will think I'm a terrible manager. It's a total emotional trap.
Now, it is so crucial to understand this. This emotional wiring isn't all bad. Not at all. Like any personality type, the influencer comes with a really powerful set of strengths that are directly linked to their corresponding blind spots.
Just look at this. The strengths and blind spots are almost always two sides of the very same coin. Their creativity is off the charts, but that can lead to an impulsive, kind of haphazard approach. Their optimism is infectious, but it's often fueled by a deep, deep need for approval and praise. They are masterful storytellers, but that often comes with a total dislike for getting bogged down in detailed planning. Sisler has this fantastic metaphor for this. He calls it the buckshot approach. So, instead of aiming carefully like a sniper, the I-type points a shotgun in the general direction of a goal and just pulls the trigger, figuring they're bound to hit something. This is that impulsivity in action. They're the type to jump off the cliff and build their wings on the way down.
So if you boil it all down, the limbic looping, the eye triangle, the need for praise, you land on the influencer's core motivation. And the crucial point is this. Unlike other types who might tie their self-worth to, say, their accomplishments or their correctness, the I-type's sense of value is fundamentally fastened to the opinions of other people.
And that leaves us with a final question to chew on. The next time you meet that magnetic, charming, life-of-the-party person, just take a second look. Are you seeing someone who is genuinely and completely carefree? Or are you maybe seeing a masterful performance, an optimistic mask worn to keep their deepest fears of failure, rejection, and being misunderstood safely tucked away from view?